The world is marking Environment Day today, a day that's a reminder to everyone that Mother Nature needs to be preserved and protected. Every year, the day is organized around a theme that focuses attention on a particularly pressing environmental concern. The theme for World Environment Day 2018, Beat Plastic Pollution. The theme looks at new frontiers to make changes in our everyday lives to reduce the burden of plastic pollution on our natural places, including our wildlife. The world has become over-reliant on single-use or disposable plastic with severe environmental consequences. Every World Environment Day has a different global host country where the official celebrations take place. This year it's India, and the focus is on raising awareness on the emerging environmental issues from marine pollution, human overpopulation and global warming. Prime Minister Modi has tweeted this morning, "Together, let us ensure that our future generations live in a clean and green planet in harmony with nature." This year, India is leading the way as it plays host with Beat Plastic Pollution as the theme for this year's edition. The world is coming together to combat single-use plastic pollution. In fact, India has the highest recycling rate for plastic at 70% compared to the world average of 22%. The focus this time is on urging governments, industry, communities and individuals to come together and explore sustainable alternatives to single-use plastic items which are polluting our oceans, damaging marine life and threatening human health. On the occasion of a World Environment Day, India's Environment Minister Dr. Harshvardhan spoke to WION. He says healthy lifestyle changes can promote sustainable development. He also urges Indians to carpool and ride bicycles.
If the people develop that attitude that they have to do something which helps, they will not use a full glass of water if they want this much. The serving person will also ensure that he serves with a jug and asks him to take that much whatever. They will not use a plastic bottle and just take a sip and throw away the waste water and then also create that litter in the system. So similarly for energy, conversion to LED system is all like efficiency in energy, and then it is apart from the big policy decisions and the big missions and the big visions, there are small things that people can do in their life to promote the cause.
Every day, most plastic ends up in landfills, in waterways and ecosystems. It not only damages the environment but kills marine life. As many as 100,000 marine creatures die every single year from plastic entanglement. It seems the world is slowly waking up to the hazards of plastic, but it's not as swiftly as environmentalists would expect. The difference, though, is visible. Many countries have acted and called for a ban on some forms of plastic, if not all. But while governments are doing their bit, it's time everyone makes the switch and avoids the use of plastic. So how do we completely rid our lives of plastic? It's a difficult task, no doubt, but not impossible. Changes made to day-to-day life can reduce your plastic footprint to a great extent. Next time when you step out to shop, especially if you're doing your groceries, avoid asking your local store for a plastic bag. Instead, carry reusable cloth or paper bags. Why buy packaged drinking water when you can just carry a bottle of your own? Not only does it save you money in the long run, it also reduces plastic waste. Plastic straws are often given out with soft drinks, cocktails and even cups of coffee, but only a tiny fraction of plastic straws are recycled because of their small size. Most of them end up in landfills or in rivers, so it's time to ditch that plastic straw. If you order a takeout, ask restaurants not to send plastic containers, or if they do, maybe you can find a way to reuse these containers at home without disposing of them after one use. You can also carry a set of reusable cutlery with you to avoid single-use plastic alternatives. At work, one can consider having a set of cutlery in your drawer for your lunch break. Instead of using cling film to pack your lunch, use long-lasting containers. You can even take a lunch tin to work and store leftovers in glass jars and boxes. You may reduce your use of plastic, but when it comes to garbage disposal, most of us dump our trash in bins that are lined with plastic bags. Maybe it's time to switch to paper bags that degrade more easily. Whether it's fruit or vegetables or even meat, buying them loose means you avoid the plastic packaging that keeps them all together in a multi-pack. That way you can also ensure that you're buying the freshest produce. One of the ways to beat plastic pollution is reducing the consumption of plastic. For some people, it's also adopting a zero-waste lifestyle. And that is precisely what Seher Mansoor advocates. She is a young environmentalist from Bengaluru. And at 26, she is currently representing India at Unleash 2018. That's a United Nations initiative, and it is a global innovation lab convening 1,000 millennial thought leaders from more than 100 countries. What they're doing in Singapore this week is collaborating on ideas and solutions to help achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Seher Mansoor now joins us from Singapore to tell us about this event. She's also going to tell us about her zero-waste lifestyle. Seher, thanks for joining us on WION. Now, you're a graduate in environmental planning from Loyola Marymount University, Los Angeles, environmental economics, law at the University of Cambridge. You've also worked for the World Health Organization in Geneva, and you're just 26. But before working in Geneva for the World Health Organization, you led a zero-waste lifestyle. So how did you become interested in this concept?
Turning point moment was me moving back home to Bangalore and actually seeing a lot of waste just on the streets. And specifically, I was working with one waste picker community that was segregating all of this waste with their naked hand. And I didn't like the idea that my sanitary napkins, the broken glass that I might have produced was being segregated by someone with their naked hand. And that's when I was like, okay, I want to stop being part of the problem and I want to be part of the solution. And the best way I knew how was to lead a zero-waste lifestyle.
Now, India's metropolitan cities are literally buried under mounds of waste. Do you think it's possible for India to reverse that trend, and how can the country really beat plastic pollution?
Yeah, I think, we're caught up in this web of convenience. We like our to-go coffee in the morning. We like our food being delivered to us, things like that. But I think we're in at a very interesting time. We see the bazaars and we see the Western-inspired grocery stores that give us pre-dictated amount of packaged food. So I think we're at this pivotal time in Indian history, and we have to pick which way we want to go.
So rather than ape the West, as you say, how do we make zero-waste lifestyle an Indian lifestyle?
I think a lot of zero-waste practices are actually just traditionally Indian. The going to your bazaars and shopping as much as you want, to our Indian tiffin, which is stainless steel, has a combination of food, equipment, but also supply chain system. Right? Imagine 2 lakh meals are being supplied every day by the Mumbai Dabbawalas, employing 5,000 to 6,000 people, all without producing any trash. So I think there are plenty of zero waste examples around us.
Seher Mansoor, as a young Indian representing the average age in the country, what's the message to young people like you to become more environmentally friendly?
We need to be more aware, we need to be more mindful, and I think it's really up to us to solve the problem now, because the rate we're going, by 2050 there's going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So really, us, especially the emerging economies, we really need to rethink consumption and make an impact if we want to reduce our waste, if we want to have a better impact on the environment, and even it's better for our health as well.
Now, you're currently representing India at Unleash 2018, which is a UN Development Goals Lab. Can you tell us on what you're working on there?
I am at the Unleash conference in Singapore with 1,000 other youths who are working on the Sustainable Development Goals. and how we can, innovate and come up with new ideas to actually solve some of them. So I'm specifically on SDG12, which is responsible consumption and production, and among others who are working on climate change projects to clean water, among others. It's been a really, really inspiring week.
Seher Mansoor, thank you for speaking to WION from Singapore. Well, the UN environmental head Erik Solheim says that India is a leader in a green shift. He praises the Modi government for taking up what he calls a huge task of cleaning the river Ganga.
Talking about climate change and environment issues, how do you, as the head of UN Environment, view Prime Minister Modi's policies insofar as tackling pollution, climate change, environment issues concerned? Prime Minister Modi, for his part, keeps talking about the phrase climate justice. Does that resonate with you as the head of UN Environment?
Absolutely. I consider Prime Minister Modi with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, President Macron of France as one of the absolute key leaders for the change we need to do. And to the credit of Prime Minister Modi, is also able to set out the environment issues in such a way that it resonates with, well, people in the villages of Bihar or Uttar Pradesh, not as theoretical issues far away from people, but close to people, near to people issues, and then they're much more likely to see the change. And by the way, it's also one of the global leaders on solar energy, setting out the Global International Solar Alliance, and also, of course, encouraging the states of India to do solar. Kerala, we have the first all-solar airport in the world. In Karnataka, we have the biggest singular solar energy plant in the world. So you see amazing changes. Of course, it's not just Prime Minister Modi, it's the government and the people of India, and also many other political party or forces.
Mumbai tourism thrives largely on its coastal locales, but there's a visible threat to water bodies as marine debris has become a common sight. Activists and citizen groups are now ensuring that they personally clean up beach shores.
While the massive whale died in Thailand, the turtles came back to Mumbai's Versova beach earlier this year. One by one, the little ones flipped through the sand and stumbled towards the sea waters. It was the first time in 20 years that olive ridley turtles had hatched like this at this beach. Just months ago, Versova Beach looked like this, a plastic wasteland shunned by man and animals alike. So what led to this change? It was people's power that changed the face of Versova Beach. A drive to clean up the beach was led by this man, a lawyer environmentalist who mobilized the community to remove the trash and bring the beach back to life. Many Mumbaikars are now taking out time to clean up Mumbai's beaches. Chinu Kawatra, a management graduate from Thane near Mumbai, is one such change agent. He has begun cleaning up the Dadar beach.
We are continuing with the Dadar beach cleanups from since past nine months. So we have collected approx 250 tons of garbage. But we find that only cleanup is not enough. We also have to aware people so that the garbage should not arise only.
The island city faces an uphill battle against pollution. Top tourist spots including Juhu, Girgom Chowpatty and Haji Ali are all fighting pollution. The Mithi River, which is one of the 4 major rivers that empties into the Arabian Sea, has been polluted to an alarming level.
Make your houses zero garbage. Learn to make turn-word garbage into compost. Dry garbage you must monetize. We have a good Raddi system here where people take everything. Sell all that up. First step. Second step is go out and clean. Go out. If your house is clean, your house is zero garbage, go out now. Step out. As we do at our beaches, mangroves. Then the third step is get the youngsters involved. Get the local community involved.
Cleaning up the beaches and rivers is a huge challenge. Untreated sewage flows directly into the sea. Plastic waste constitutes a considerable chunk of the pollutants. Mumbaikars have now taken upon themselves the task of saving their environment. Many a college student is teaching residents how to segregate waste and shun the use of plastic.
Mumbai especially has the spirit of, doing and coming out of all situations. So if we are responsible for the litter, I think we should all step out and make sure that we clean it up as much as we can and spread the word out.
The beach warriors are trying to make a difference. It's not just one-day action that counts. Theirs is a movement which is here to stay.
When we celebrate World Environment Day, it just shouldn't be about speeches. It just shouldn't be about panel discussions. It should be more practical, more active like this.
This is a good initiative, and I would like to continue this. Today was my first day, and it was a great experience.
It's initiative, and we try to do as much as we can.
So I feel my home as well as my whole nation should be cleared, and I'm taking part of it to clean my nation.
After all, whatever we give to nature, we get it back, and you can see that.
We as citizens need to take that step, need to come on ground to realize how much plastic is in our environment, how much plastic is in the water bodies. Like-minded citizens, Mumbaikars have ever since taken to the ground, whether be it the cleaning of the Versova beach, the Dadar beach, or now the Juhu beach. It is hence important that we Mumbaikars take that step. We say no to plastic and help save the environment. With video journalist Kamaljeet Singh in Mumbai, Pragya Jha, WION.
Plastic cups and plates have invaded the environment in a big way. From food delivery at your doorstep to fast-paced life in urban areas, multiple factors have contributed to the excessive use of plastic, something that's harming our environment every day without a break. But in India, plastic wasn't always the go-to. WION's team visits the traditional plantain leaf market in the IT city of Bengaluru to find out what the people really prefer.
In India, plantain leaves were traditionally used as plates at meal times, especially in the southern parts of the country. But with time and increasingly fast-paced life in urban areas, plastic cups and plates ended up replacing these older, eco-friendly options. Ahead of World Environment Day this year, we went to Chamarajpet and KR Market in India's IT city Bengaluru to ask vendors if the leaf cups and plates of old still had any takers today. Their responses were heartening. Shivakumar, who's been selling plantain leaves in the city for the last 30 years, feels that despite the explosion in the use of plastic cups and plates, the demand for eco-friendly options has also seen a rise.
The sales have not reduced. It is much higher than what it was 30 years ago. Yes, there is some effect due to plastic and paper plates, but we have to also remember that eating on plantain leaves is the healthier option.
Another factor that gives hope to anti-plastic crusaders in Bengaluru is the city's plastic ban. Although it hasn't proven to be 100% effective, it certainly has encouraged people to adopt more eco-friendly options. In 2016, the Karnataka state government imposed a blanket ban on manufacturing, storing, distributing and using other use-and-throw plastics like carry bags, plates, cups and spoons, among others.
You can feel the food when you consume this plantain leaf. Even the steel is not also, I don't recommend the steel also, but this is a very good stuff for the food and all.
Pro-environment groups in the city have also been aggressively campaigning against the use of disposable or single-use plastics. From setting up numerous steel plate banks in the city that can be utilized for special occasions to promote zero-waste weddings, the city's green warriors are working hard to push plastic out for good. Vani Murthy, a green activist who likes to call herself an eco-nut, has been fighting for waste segregation and management for more than a decade now. She also believes in practicing what she preaches and carries her own steel plate, spoon, tumbler and straw every time she steps out of home.
As long as there's demand, there will be supply, and trying to bring down the demand will take a long time because you have to reach every citizen or sensitize every citizen on the impact of plastic. But then when the shopkeepers, when they're denied having or using them, then I think with enforcement it's going to be a great success.
While the situation is certainly better than what it was a few years back, the road ahead is long and challenging. Right from rejecting plastics to creating awareness on waste management, much is needed to be done by the administration and citizens alike.
Well, although the consumption of plastic has exponentially increased because of its convenience factor and its durability factor, but growing awareness and administrative intervention has ensured that even natural products are in the game and are giving stiff competition to plastic products. Now, these are plates made of arecanut, material made of the arecanut tree, and then you have the plantain leaves. You also have cups that are made of leaves that have traditionally been used in the southern part of India to consume food and continue to be sold in a rather active manner, and there are takers for it, which is certainly a good sign on this World Environment Day. In Bengaluru with video journalist Chandan Nischita, WION.
South Asia is staring at an environmental crisis because of excessive use of plastic. Nearly 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into the oceans every year, and most of it comes from countries in this region. 800 species are paying the price of this negligence. Hundreds of thousands of animals have been killed by plastic in recent years. But let's focus on Thailand and Vietnam, two countries that are trying to reduce the pollution by plastic.
Plastic is choking the planet. Whether it is the natural habitat or marine wildlife, plastic is polluting every corner of the earth. Compared to the world, Southeast Asia faces a much larger challenge in dealing with the plastic menace. Oceans and seas have become a dumping ground for the waste, and for the lack of attention by authorities, Mother Nature is paying the price. Thailand, known for its tropical beaches, is one of the top producers of plastic waste in the world. Environmentalists say, while people are aware, authorities are yet to put in place an action plan to tackle the issue.
ทุกคนรู้ว่าเกิดปัญหาละแต่การที่จะเกิดการทำงานร่วมกันเพื่อที่จะนำไปสู่การลดได้จริงๆเนี่ยยังไม่เห็นแผนร่วมด้วยซ้ำนะเพราะว่าในเรื่องของอาเซียนเองเนี่ยเขาก็บอกว่าอันนี้เป็นเรื่องที่ต้องทำแต่แอคชั่นแพลนจริงๆเนี่ยเรายังไม่เห็นว่ามันจะทำยังไงเพื่อที่จะนำไปสู่การลดร่วมกันได้จริงๆนะคะ
Images like these best describe the challenge that stares before Thailand. This whale choked on plastic bags and died after suffering for 5 days. An attempt to rescue the whale was in vain. An autopsy report found 80 plastic bags and 8 kilograms of other plastic items from the whale's stomach. Vietnam too is battling the plastic menace. The country is the 4th largest contributor to the pollution of marine bodies. This beach, located south of the capital city of Hanoi, has more plastic than sand, and the locals are helplessly staring at an environmental crisis.
Sinh ra cái túi bóng đây từ đời đấy là rác nhiều, cái gì cũng bỏ vào túi bóng. Họ muối từng cân tôm cân cá họ cũng muối vào túi bóng, muối mực muối chát họ cũng muối vào túi bóng. Xong khi họ về họ đổ ra rổ đấy họ lại vứt túi bóng xuống biển thì nước biển nó to lên đến đâu thì nó lại rùa tôi lên đến đấy. Nó còn không tàu mà cái túi bóng đây nó nâu tàu nâu hư nó.
Around the world, nearly 8 million tons of plastic is dumped into the oceans every year. The situation is dire in the Asia-Pacific region, which is home to the world's top 5 plastic polluting countries. The present circumstances call for an urgent intervention from the global community before it's too late. Bureau Report, WION.
That's it then on this World Environment Day special.